Hello Friendzies, welcome back to my channel. I just want to preface this video by saying this is something I probably should have scripted so that I'll be able to get my point across without getting super rambly, but I didn't. I don't script any of my videos, which might be a mistake, so we're gonna just get into this video and you're gonna have to listen to me ramble for however long this video is gonna be. Hopefully for you it won't be a long one. So a couple videos ago, I honestly don't remember what one, I will put up the card for whichever video it was, I talked about being a writer and YouTube, and I just I was like, oh, I'm not gonna get into that, and then just moved on from it. But I do want to go more in depth with that because I have like weird feelings about that, and I wonder if maybe if I just talk it out to the camera, maybe it'll make more sense in my head. Maybe I'll kind of come to a better conclusion. So yeah, I'm gonna ramble that out until I maybe just say what I want to say, maybe just get it out in the world. I'm not sure. So my mom is a librarian. I've talked about this in multiple videos before. And I don't really know what it is really other than my mom being a librarian. She read to me every single night, pretty much from the time I was born until I was about 13. We were reading the Chronicles of Narnia at the time, and I asked her if I could just read it by myself. I was ready to just start reading on my own. But when I was about 4, I do remember this, and my mom obviously remembers it better than I do. But I asked her how we got the stories that we were reading, and she explained to me that people, you know, wrote them, illustrated them, whatever, and I told her that I wanted to be one of those people. And she explained to me that those people were called authors, and I told her that I wanted to be an author. And I have stuck with that my entire life. Little kids want to be all kinds of things all the time, which is great. Little kids have great dreams. I definitely wanted to be a pop star. Obviously, I wanted to be a princess. I wanted to be a vet at one point. I wanted to be a ballerina, like a normal kid thing. But I have always stuck with the author thing. You know, when I was like, oh yeah, I want to be a ballerina, Mom would be like, okay, well, like, what about your books? And I'd be like, well, I'll just write books about me being a ballerina. Like, I always had the idea that I was gonna write books no matter what. And that's never changed. I had things that I, like, again, as I got older, at one point I wanted to be a teacher. When I was in high school, I figured I would go to school and get a degree and be like, maybe like a high school English teacher, but with the idea that I'd still be writing on the side. I do write in my free time. I have a list of story ideas on my phone. And I'm sure anybody that enjoys writing and likes to consider themselves a writer knows what I mean by saying, I like to write, but I don't write. I actually kind of want to today. We'll see if this helps me inspire. We'll see. But I've always been writing and doing things. But I don't like to talk about it on YouTube. Because I don't know if this is just something I feel or if it's something that's like a legitimate thing, but I feel like if you are making YouTube videos and talk about writing and like wanting to be an author, I feel like there's immediately, stigma is not the right word I'm looking for at all, because I know what a stigma is, but I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. I feel like saying that you do both of those things is very much like people will just roll their eyes at you and be like, ah, yeah, whatever. Like, I think this thought of mine, like I said, I don't know if that's a legitimate thing. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that or felt that, or if it's just me. I think that feeling and that thought stems from the whole Zoella ghostwriting incident, which, if you don't know what that was, Zoella made a whole video about how Penguin Books, you know, reached out for her and, you know, was like, oh, do you like want to write a book or whatever? And then she published, you know, Girl Online, and it became a big thing, and it sold more copies in the first week than Harry Potter. which, you know, whatever. Zoella was a popular channel at one point. I know she is still popular now, but I watch a lot of commentary videos about Zoella because as much as I did really love her when I was younger, and she does hauls really well, I do find myself agreeing with like the videos about her. But anyway, she published her book or whatever, and it came out, and it was, you know, people loved it. And then it came out that she didn't actually write it. She had a ghostwriter do it. She slapped her name on it. I don't know if the situation was the person was okay without their credit being acknowledged. I don't know. But it came out that there was a ghostwriter. She didn't actually do it, even though her name was on the book. And instead of addressing the situation, she kind of just disappeared off the internet. And then when she came back, she never said anything about it, and then went on to put out 2 more books in her like Girl Online series. And now she has another book, whatever. Which kind of, that bugs me, but I can't really say anything because I personally don't fully understand the whole thing of a ghostwriter. And like James Patterson is not a YouTuber, but he pisses me off because he doesn't even write his own books anymore. He just puts his name on it, and he hires a team of people to write it. Don't call yourself an author, you pretentious fuck. Well, and then it's a situation of Zoella having books, and then her brother put out a book, and then what was Jim, is that his name? That guy that they're friends with, and his wife, they have a dog. I don't remember. I don't know. Zoe's posted a bunch of videos with them. He had a book, and I think what's her boyfriend's name? Alfie. Alfie has a book, and I think it's more of a maybe jealousy thing. That might be what it is. It's, you know, they already, like, these people already have so much money and like can already do like such cool things and live in beautiful houses, and then they're doing like the one thing I really want to do with my life, which is make a book and publish it. And it's not like, I can't say like that's like entirely the reason, because to actually have a book that needs to be published, you actually have to write a book. All my story ideas just sitting in my computer screaming at me from the Microsoft Word. I don't know what it is. It like really not irritates me. It doesn't irritate me. It just kind of bugs me and like makes me sad that that's the one thing I've always wanted to do with my life. And I feel like maybe, I'm not saying for sure, obviously, because I don't know any of these people, so don't come for me, because I don't. I feel like some of these people that are like popular YouTubers and put out books, it's more of a, like, not like a genuine interest. Which who am I to say? I don't know about anybody else's life unless they tell me or I know that person. Like, who am I to say that they don't even actually care? They could they could have been like me and have always wanted to write a book and just didn't have the chance until that moment. But from like a very outside perspective, it feels like there's not a genuine interest in wanting to create a story. It's more of a like, let me kind of dip my toes in anything that like will kind of get me more money. And again, I don't know them. I don't know these people. I don't know anything about them. That's literally just me talking out loud. That's thoughts just going out into the world, and we're kind of just vibing with them. So nobody come for me, please. I don't want to hear anybody attacking me because I said these things, because I'm not trying to attack anybody. I'm just speaking. I'm jealous of people who, because of like their YouTube popularity, if they do choose to make a book and put it out in the world, that, you know, it kind of like instantly becomes popular because it's a marketing thing. Like, it's selling, it's the capitalism, it's what this world is. I've always, that's like my one dream, is to publish a book. And like, the book Tithe by Holly Black, I have a favorites video where I talk about that. It is one of my favorite books I've ever read. It's something that every time I pick it up, Like, I know exactly what's gonna happen. I know. But every time that there's the reveal, I'm just like, oh, what? And then the climax of the book when, you know, the things go down and they do the thing, I'm like, what? Like, it feels like the first time every time I read it. And it's like YA fantasy, little bit of adventure. That's kind of the thing I've always wanted to write. I have, like I said, a bunch of story ideas. One that has magical triplets and uses characters from like The Sims 2, like Bella Goth, Sims 2 Bella Goth, Ophelia Nigmos, and Olive Spectre. They are kind of in that. I'm not going to say her last name right because I've never said it right, but Jennifer Truk. That family from Sims 2 Nightlife. She's kind of in it, but the main characters are the triplets and their mom. And the thing is, I don't write them down because then there's the fear of like being a writer where it's the fear of like, it's not going to turn out exactly how it is in my head. No one's going to like it. No one's going to even care about it. I'm going to have wasted all this time and effort. That's not really where I wanted to go with this. It's just, like I said, I feel like there's a weird thing and there's not. I don't think. I think it's mainly just in my head. I feel like there's a weird thing of saying, yeah, I make YouTube videos and, oh yeah, like I want to be a writer. I feel like people immediately kind of roll their eyes and they're just like, oh yeah, that sounds about right. Like another YouTube book. Because in a weird way, to me, it almost feels like it's not like a real book. It's not like a real story. It's a very like manufactured story, but that's not true. That's not true at all. Just because a certain person with like certain like affiliations or whatever, or like a certain side job wrote it, doesn't mean that it's any less of a book than what Holly Black writes. Like that doesn't make sense when I say it out loud, but that's what my brain comes up with. And my brain and I are not really friends, so I shouldn't be surprised. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't have a script for this. I just kind of wanted to talk out loud and see if I came to any kind of conclusion. And I really didn't. But it was nice to kind of talk it out. And I hope that maybe this video, you guys can kind of understand what I'm saying in my ramblings. I hope it makes some kind of sense so that you can kind of see where I'm coming from. I wanted to be a booktuber. When I thought about starting my YouTube videos, the hello who's ever watching was just going to be like a quick little introduction, and then I was going to do booktube. At the time I was having a real like struggle with reading. I think senior year I really burnt myself out because I was reading at least 3 books at a time the entire time of senior year. Like end of junior year, over that summer, and then throughout senior year, I was reading at least 3 books at a time. So I think I really burnt myself out. And then, you know, the depression and the other mental health. It's so funny because I pick up, like, I'll start reading a fan fiction at like midnight and then it's 5 a.m. Last night I did that. And they're like novel length fanfics, but for some reason picking up like a physical book is difficult for me. So, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I apologize for how rambly and just not really interesting this video is, and maybe next week's video will be a little more interesting. But thank you for watching. Please leave a like if you kind of understood any of the nonsense I'm saying. And I will see you in the next video. Bye! I don't think any of that made sense.